Yeah. Well, there's a lot. I mean, gosh, that's like, there's a lot to dental VSS, right? There's what it was and what it is and what the future looks like. And always it's inside of just a pursuit of excellence and enjoying the journey, right? And constantly looking at, how it is that we can solve for some of the challenges that dentists are faced by. And thankfully, right now, dentists are faced with administrative, among other employee issues. And I know it doesn't sound like that's a real gift to you, being a dentist yourself, but in the overall scheme of things, it is such a gift because we also in COVID, so I really grew the company, Dental VSS, through COVID. I mean, before that, I had a training and coaching company. We did some limited virtual support, but in 2020, when COVID hit and there was really no end in sight, I transitioned our entire company, 60 people, to nothing but virtual support. And from there, we grew, to hundreds of practices, but I had a lot of people working in a lot of offices. And as you can imagine, that can have a lot of mistakes happening. And, one of our core values is we're so confident we put our name on it. And so I really had to go do some soul searching to say, okay, I've got this large company, my ego, I'm feeling real good about myself. And at the same time, there's mistakes that are not mistakes that I would have happen, right? So there was that happening. And you see it in your practices. I mean, there's times where if you're running a mill or you're running patients in and out all day long, there are things happening like, that isn't 100% consistent with your commitment. And so I started to look at, and I wasn't sleeping very well at night, right? Like I've got a lot of things going on. And you could equate it to, going from PPO to fee for service thinking, right? And you begin to look at, wow, how many patients could I lose and actually still take home that, still have the numbers be what they are or better, and have my peace of mind and time be given back to me. So in COVID, I realized that dentists were operating inside of an old, outdated, inherited business model. And that virtual support was the new model for independent dentists, one that allowed dentists to redefine and focus on what matters, which is a patient in the practice. And I also realized that I didn't really love the lack of collaboration, the lack of trust and confidence. So as I began to solve for that, I realized that the a la carte model wasn't the model I wanted. It would be like a dentist being a tooth by tooth dentist. That's not who I am, right? I'm a comprehensive, if I'm not a dentist, but if I'm a dentist, I'm a comprehensive dentist. I'm a systemic health dentist. I'm an overall well-being dentist. I'm not just I'll fix that tooth, even though you got like 4 root canals, which one are you going to do first, right? So I went from being, a la carte to committed team. And that has made all the difference. And I share that because, practices inside of the new model, it's outsourcing makes a huge difference. But I started to think through, it's not just outsourcing, it's also the okay, now what conversation that dentists are faced with. Okay, now that my team member isn't calling on outstanding insurance claims, great that they love to collect your money. Better that if they're taking up real estate, they're creating value, right? And real estate in a dental office, as you know, is valuable. So I go off on a tangent. So dental VSS, committed team model, we make sure that phones are answered, schedules are full, right? So the team members that are in the practice focus in the business. We focus on the business. We want them to spend 10 minutes talking to Susie at the checkout, or we want them in the consultation room managing financing options and letting that phone, while the opportunity of the phone being answered needs to happen because I'm all about maximizing opportunities, but they need to be where they are. So we focus on the business. And I'll stop there for a second. I train the teams on there's 2 most important days of the week, right? And if I asked you, Eric, what are the 2 most important days of the week?
I saw it on your websites today and tomorrow.
Ah, you're so good. Okay, good. See? Well, and it's so fun, and thanks for that. So, when you ask team members, they're like Mondays and Fridays, Saturdays and Sundays. So we want to make sure that as a team, we're maximizing the opportunities of today and that we are scheduled to capacity tomorrow. And oftentimes we don't serve the patient in the practice, or we don't ask for a referral. We don't welcome and offer water. We don't check the bathroom that the mirror doesn't have water spots on it. We don't go into the restroom and make sure that the toilet paper is pointed. So who doesn't love going into the restroom and have the toilet paper be pointed, right? But all of these things make a difference inside of both the clientele that we're serving and the amount of money they're spending. And it emotes these emotional connections to the kind of environment that they expect when they come to a dental office. So everything that's inside of, so one of the things we talk with the office managers is, what are some of the things that you're working on that's keeping you away from being in relationship with patients?